Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Peripera Pure Beam Flash Cheek. I picked these up because they were new from Peripera and I thought that would be a really interesting product. I was kind of intrigued with what they were going to be considering they were a flash beam product, and honestly I struggled with them. They're this strange mix of blush and highlight that honestly just didn't work well for my skin and my skin problems, but here we are anyway. So for these products, the product description says, bright clear jewel beam cheek with blooming photo powder, pure beam flash on flash cheek, crystal clear like watercolor with diamond powder, daily necessary trendy color, zero clumping. So the problem that I had with this one is I couldn't really tell if it was supposed to be a blush or a highlight, because when I tried them they were like super shimmery, but when I looked at the product photos they were wearing them like a blush. Technically it does say, using a brush or fingertip, apply to the highest part of the cheeks and blur naturally. But that doesn't really help, because if I applied it like a highlighter, it looked stupid because it's a blush. The product description really doesn't help at all. I feel like, considering Peripera is sort of like more, not international of a brand, but it does sell outside of Korea, they really should get a better English translation for their products. Like, I'm sure it wouldn't cost that much, and I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard. That's not a helpful product description at all. Anyway, the packaging of these products is very typical to Peripera. They come in a clear plastic tub and then they have the product. I do like that you can see the product from the outside because it helps me to pick up the correct color when I'm looking for them. There are 4 colors in the collection and I don't really like any of them. You can probably see in the swatches that they are super shimmery and not really that pigmented. There are 2 lighter shades that are super shimmery and then 2 darker shades that have got a bit more of the blush sort of pigment in them. So the first shade is called number 1 Dried Pumpkin, which is a light sort of orangey color. I guess it's kind of like peach, but not really apparently. I don't know how they named this one pumpkin, but I'm just gonna go with it. So this is what Dried Pumpkin it looks like on this cheek here. It is a little bit harder to see because these are more of a sheer blush, but you can see how much shimmer is on them. They are quite shiny. So this is what my cheek looks like without the blush, and then with. So you definitely can see it. I think I was having problems with these to start with because they had sort of more like an overspray on top. So I was just getting all shimmer and like no color. And it was very frustrating because the shimmer does not do my pores any favors. So I was trying to avoid putting the shimmer on my pores, but or near my pore area. But it's really hard to avoid when you're putting on blush. But now they're not so bad now that they've been used a couple of times. So I wouldn't say that you need to scratch the top layer off, but you do need to use them a couple of times to actually make them work, which is disappointing, but not much you can do about it. So this is what Dried Pumpkin looks like on both cheeks. I don't mind this shade, I don't really love any of them, but this is what it looks like. Number 2 is called Picket Peach, which is a little bit lighter and a little bit more warm toned than the pumpkin was. So it's just, it looks more like a highlight, this one, than it does anything else. This one kind of shows up the least on my skin as a blush, but somehow it still looks kind of the nicest. So this is what Picket Peach looks like on this side versus nothing on this side. So you can see the color a bit, but you can mostly see like a highlighter, which is strange. Like, I feel like these are a highlighter crossed with a blush, which is cool, but at the same time I feel like my highlighter probably doesn't look the best when it's sitting right there. But then if I apply it like a highlighter, it also looks stupid because it's got blush color on it, so that doesn't work either. So this is what Picket Peach looks like on both cheeks. I'm not a huge fan, but somehow it still does look kind of nice. Shade number 3 is called Daily Guava, which is more like a pumpkin color in my opinion, but cool. This one is like the orange of the family that I don't like, of course. And because it is a darker color, you can use a lot less of it and you can still see it a lot more. So therefore I get a little bit less of that highlighter effect and a little bit more blush, but still not great. So this is what Daily Guava looks like on one cheek and not the other. And this is what it looks like applied on both cheeks like a regular person. Again, not my favorite color. It is the orange of the family, but it does work. So this one looks more like a blush because obviously the color is way darker, so it does work better. So this is number 3, Daily Guava. And then the final shade is number 4, Sincere Fig, which is more of a pink color. I mean, it's kind of pink. It's like the most pink that we have in the collection, unfortunately. So this is what Sincere Fig looks like. Even though it's a darker color, I really can't see the blush color so much. This one, you can still see a lot of the shimmer. It still looks okay though. So this is what Sincere Fig looks like on one cheek and without anything. I feel like with this one I kind of need to put a bit of powder, like a translucent powder on it to make it look a little bit more, there we go, a little bit more blended and reasonable. So this is what Sincere Fig looks like on both cheeks. I don't mind the colour, but again, none of them are really my favourites, to be honest. So overall, unfortunately for me, I didn't particularly like these. I feel like the colours are definitely not up my alley. They're just not colours that I would go for normally. However, I did want to try them out to do something a little bit different that's not just something that's pastel and pink. However, I really didn't like the formulation either. I feel like it's a straight mix between a highlighter and a blush, and for me it doesn't really work that well because I do have larger pores. So in this area here, I do have pores. I mean, everybody has pores, but mine are more noticeable. And if you put glitter and shimmer on them, they're even more noticeable than they were before. So for me, I try to avoid doing that at all costs, because why make myself look like a golf ball when I don't have to, you know? However, because these are blushes, I can't really avoid that area, because if I don't take the blusher far forward enough, it makes my face look droopy. Like if I don't do it far forward, like up into the actual apples of my cheeks, if I start back here, and it just looks really weird. Like, I did try it and I immediately blended it back up to where it was normally because it just looked so bad. I have to tell you, just so bad. So unfortunately, these don't really work for me. They don't work as a highlighter. They look really weird if I just use like a highlighter, because I just end up with like a strip of color and highlight and then no actual color on my cheeks. So it looks strange. I don't really think that these were the best thought out products, because I do have other products that have a glitter or like a shimmer aspect. So ones that I really like, oh no, they're stuck in the drawer. Oh well. The ones that I really liked were from Etude House, from their Cherry Blossom collection this year. They had like the nicest, finest shimmer, so that it just gave your skin a really healthy looking look without making you look shiny. So it can be done. I feel like for me, maybe it's just not meant for my skin tone. Maybe there's meant for someone who has deeper skin tones. I don't particularly know. All I know is that it didn't really work for me. Yeah. So I hope this helped out somewhat, and at least you guys will be able to see the colour. If you don't care for my opinion, totally fine. Let me know in the comments down below if you had a different experience with them. I would actually love to hear, because my experience always differs from everybody else's, so I can only give you my opinion and at least show you the colours of the products. So thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I will see you in the next one.